All right, this is Wana back on the cast. It looks like we'll be starting out on Lijiang Tower tonight. Um, we're gonna have to see what CMU can do here tonight. We saw some really good results from them just this weekend, um, and really very interesting comps. Really, this desire to not run this 3-3 that has been very popular in the current meta. So I'm really interested tonight, particularly to see Frosted play some more Sombra. He showed a very good understanding of that hero and came up with some massive EMPs for his team. And it looks like we're going to be starting out here on Night Market actually, which usually we see a lot of Goats mirrors. Um, but we'll have to see when we get into it what we're gonna actually end up with here. It looks like Red Team is starting off on a Genji Pharah actually. A little bit of a dive DPS variant going on there. Dash does switch off to the Brigitte though, so looks very likely we're going to see the 3-3 mirror match here. Both teams choosing the Rhine variant. We'll have to see who wins this initial fight to see who can get their percentage rolling first here on Lijiang. Both teams coming out, putting down a little bit of poke damage. CMU though goes in here, tries to get some energy off this Zarya bubble. We'll have to see which Zarya can really win this energy battle. But Paradox, he falls first. That's a massive pick, and Dash is soon to follow, and they're just gonna clean up here. With Noth falling, this will be a one fight for Red Team, and really. The bubble there might have been used a little bit too early to actually save CMU for a lot of that damage, and we see Pure get badly staggered here. Blue team pushing, or red team, I should say, pushing all the way into the spawn of CMU. We do see some ults, though, come online for CMU. We're going to have the Grav online here very soon, but with Trance to counter, we'll have to see. But Grav gets eaten by default! Schwinn down, and a massive Earthshatter to answer. But with Paradox going down, this is a more even fight, and now that Dazer follows, we'll really have to see. I believe it looks like CMU will clean this fight up. And it looks like Red Team here will just try to get the re-engage. A lot of ults coming online for them. They're going to have 5 ults very soon, and they really only used the rally in that fight. So, going to be a big ult fiesta here. We see just some initial poke, and now CMU just backing up to the point. They're going to play on point here and really try and put this poke damage down to try and maybe equalize with some of this ult differential that we see going on here. But Pure gets demeched, so there's nothing to eat the Grav, and the bomb comes out. Let's see if it gets anything. Will not connect. And both support ults coming out from the side of CMU here. Answered with a beat, and Default goes down. This is a great opening for Red. Mac to follow. Red should just clean up here. And while they did have to invest some ults, they do have some really good tools to try and keep this percentage going for them. But at 84%, there's really one more fight that CMU has to win here to take this first map here on Lijiang Tower. And maybe a little bit of overinvestment there from CMU with the support ultimates, but they really didn't want to lose to that D.Va Bomb combo. And it looks like CMU wants to get aggressive here, actually. They're coming in with the rally and really pushing forward. But it looks like Ryan in a little bit of a weird position, not exactly with his team right there, to block some of that critical damage. But now they're fighting as a 6. Earthshatter comes down, locks up Nas, and Grav D.Va Bomb comes out on the side of Red. We'll get 2. And this is easy cleanup. Whenever you get 2 kills with that Grav Bomb combo, that's a one fight for your team. And now, percentage is slowly but surely ticking up for Red. They still have probably about 2 or 3 more fights here to actually take this map. So we'll see if they can hold on. Like I said earlier, Ultimate Economy is really important. And we can look specifically here. Dazer and Default. Default has that Grav online, but Dazer is already almost built up to the next one. Grav comes out. D.Va Bomb combo comes out, though, in answer. Nothing will be found there. And we just see Poke being exchanged between. Ults being exchanged. No kills yet, though. Although, as I say that, Mac kills Dash and Jar Jar Dinks answers on Paradox. This is a fight that CMU will clean up. And if they can get some late stagger kills here, they're going to have a very hard time, Red Team, actually coming in and having a real team fight here at the end. And Jar Jar Dinks and Schwinn are going to both have their support ultimates online. So this is looking like a very likely hold here, actually, for CMU. Pure actually touches the point to get that overtime wick burning, but in the meantime, Frosted eats Dazer's grabs, and Mac kills Dash. All CMU has to do here is clean up, and they take this first map. And Beat will be thrown out just to ensure they survive. And this will be the map going over to CMU here. So really interesting that we see the 3-3 matchup here, because it really tells us these teams are both very comfortable with GOATS, and CMU just appeared to be the better GOATS team. Their ultimate economy was always a little bit ahead of where Red Team's ult economy was. So we'll have to see if this continues. Grabs getting eaten actually was a very interesting thing there. 2 grabs got eaten on the side of Red versus 1 for Blue. And really, that's a massive play coming out from the D.Va to eat those ultimates. Going into this map, Gardens on Lijiang, we will see a very close to mirror, but Red Team is going to be running out with that Winston to get that cleave damage in. And let's see how fast Paradox here can build up that Primal Rage. But he does get stunned out. Has to back up a little bit, has to play a little safe, while Mac's shield is getting taken low. And Poke will be exchanged here. Well, it looks like Red Team is just going to try to bait on point, which might be a less than ideal play, because their value really comes from the Winston cleaving in and getting massive damage. And Paradox jumps in. Maybe a little ill-advised there, actually. Will get taken out very fast, gets stunned up, and taken out and focused. And first cap goes over to CMU. And it looks like the Zarya will get out, so she'll keep her energy. And really, that's a massive thing you have to notice is whenever a Zarya goes down, she loses all that energy, which allows whichever team with the Zarya that stayed alive to just have a massive DPS advantage. And it looks like we will be rotating over here into this little small room, trying to get some damage in. Mac falls first, though. Or Paradox falls first, though. But Mac gets booped off the side. They've equalized here, and Grab comes out. Let's see if they can actually follow this up. Grab's out on both teams, but Nos decides to commit the Transcendence as well as Jar Jar. Very even fight. D.Va Bomb getting committed. It does actually find Frosted. And Frosted actually answers back from the grave on Dazer. Supportal's just getting thrown out willy-nilly here. But really, this advantage of this fight should go to CMU, since they continue to accrue progress on this point. And we see picks just going back and forth. No one's really coming out ahead. But as I say this, we've reached over 65%, and we may very well be in last fight territory by the time this point eventually gets flipped. Earthshatter comes out from Mac, locks up a couple. Follow-up will be there, though, and with Nos, Paradox, and now Pure going down, this is an easy fight win for CMU. And ults on both sides looking very sparse. Jar Jar Dinks is very close to that Transcendence. This could make the difference if this fight goes on. But Red Team has to get a touch on this point here, and they're going to have to fight through all of CMU before they're able to touch. But as I say that, they get on the point and start actually picking up kills of their own. And it does look like the flip will come through. Although, fortunately for CMU, they didn't commit that Transcendence there, so they're going to have that for the next fight. And with Dazer about to get his Grav online, that will be massive to counter it. And looking at the ult economy for these two teams, all 3 tank ults are going to be online for red team here, and CMU is still very far away from that Earth Shatter, but looking fairly even in the ult economy right now. We'll have to see who can really connect with these ults and get more value. And CMU working their way onto the point. Grav will come out. D.Va Bomb. Let's see if it finds kills. Dazer goes down. And Earthshatter answers. Massive Earthshatter. Mac pays his life for it, but it shouldn't be enough to carry this fight for CMU. And as Javier throws in the last-minute sound barrier, hoping to find some purchase on this point, I think that they are very likely going to get wiped here. But as I say that, Paradox hits a massive shatter. They're going to win this fight. Paradox locks up everyone on the enemy team, and with no support ultimates to answer, this fight will go the way of red team. And red team will find that cap starting to accrue from about 51% here. Although CMU has to win a fight here within the next 2 fights if they want to make this a 2-0 series. And we're going to see the Grav come online for default, whereas Dazer is lagging behind. So if default actually just gets the Grav online, we're going to have to see if this Grav can be big here. Nos does have the chance to answer it, though. Grav comes out, as well as Trance to answer. Can they clean up the kills on this point? But Pure and Dazer picking up 2. This fight will go in the way of red team, and CMU will have one more fight here if they want to win this map. Although, excellent tools really coming online here for the side of CMU. Although, it's going to be hard for them to touch this point. Frosted is going to have to be the one here to give up his life, maybe, to get this overtime wick burning. And Frosted taking very low. He will commit the D.Va Bomb here. And actually, Frosted, D.Va Bomb's off points, does not get the chance to touch the point. And what was looking like a really great ult economy for CMU to really have a fighting chance here on Gardens of Lijiang Tower gets wiped out. And we'll be going to one more deciding map here on Lijiang. And so now we're on City Center for Lijiang, which is a more tight, close quarters map. So I think that we are going to see this Reinhardt 1v1 mirror match here. And really, in the first stage of Lijiang, CMU really dominated the Rhine mirror. So we're going to have to see if Mac can put in a good performance here to carry this map for his team. And it looks like both teams will be making their way to the point. Actually, Neon's going to roll out here with his Mei, see if he can get any value from these walls. But as I said, Paradox takes down Frosted. So now CMU has to beat a hasty retreat. And it looks like they're going to just lose members left and right here as they try to make their way out. And without a Lucio to speed boost them out, it's very possible they just continue to get staggered here. And now it looks like red team going to send probably one of their members back to go and cap this point. It does look like it'll be the Brigida alone on point. This Mei comp is really good when you're winning, but harder to pull off when you have to come through this narrow chokeway and the walls aren't effective. Paradox hits a massive shatter on Mac. He did not have his shield up, and he will get taken out for that. But the rally is actually popped here from Dash just to make sure this fight continues to go their way, while they had a couple members going low. But with Mac going down so early in that fight, they really have no business even trying to fight that. And we're gonna see the Grav online here for Dazer. So I'm interested to see where his placement is of this Grav. But he doesn't really have to be worried because there's no D.Va on the side of the enemy team to eat that Grav up. So he can just throw that Grav across the map. We'll throw it out almost immediately. Wall comes out to block some of that incoming damage. Really good wall there from Neon. Actually maybe saves them from a lot of that damage. Mayol is going to come out, and Jar Jar Dace gets pinned through it. But Paradox, he charges it a little bit too far without enough support and will get picked off. So this fight is definitely favoring CMU here. It looks like if they can clean up this point pretty fast here, they will get the cap going on their side. Schwinn takes out his counterpart in Javier. And while they do have members coming back in, I think this wall is actually going to produce some really good results for them here while they funnel and build their ult charge. Now, Default has his grab online, but he does have to worry about the D.Va eating it up, so I wonder if he tries to throw it on one of these walls. Both Shatter's coming out, not locking up too much on the side, and Grav comes out with Trance to answer it. And actually, gets Grav's other way. Good Zarya bubble, though, to protect herself and the Zenyatta. And with 2 kills on the side of CMU, I think this might go their way, but as I say that, 2 more kills are answered back, and this is trading. But in this fight, it looks like the advantage goes to Red Team. Lucio's just being annoying on point right now, but we'll have to see how long he can stay alive. Maybe long enough for his other 2 members to get back. And it looks like Mac and Jar Jar Dinks are returning to the fight. So now this fight is an even 6v6. And with Paradox and Mac being traded out, we go to a 5v5 now. Very interesting stuff here. The Mei ice blocks a little bit early, wanting to keep herself alive, and Trance gets thrown out just to make sure they can clean up this fight. But Trance thrown out maybe a little bit early, so now they don't have a support ultimate to actually protect them from this Grav. So this will be Cap going back in favor of Red Team. And both Zaryas there committed Grav, but Red Team had the support ult advantage after an early Trance from Jar Jar Dinks. Trying to keep his team alive and actually secure those kills, but they can't secure them fast enough for them to actually win out. So we're gonna see the recontest here. Neon has this Mail, but he has to make sure it doesn't get eaten by the D.Va. Interesting wall coming out. Doesn't get eaten by the D.Va. Will freeze up too, it looks like. D.Va Bomb comes out to cover. Kills answering back and forth. Earthshatter comes out, locks up the Zarya. This will be a 1 fight here for CMU. And this Lucio, not long for this world, with a Discord Orb and a Rein swinging at him, he's not going to last. But now, they had to commit both the Earthshatter and the Mei ult there, so they're going to have some ults to try to hold this with, but they invested a couple of valuable tools there. And it looks like Red Team will wrap around this small building, will be met by CMU, trying to rotate them, but they're going to get rotated right back. Rein gets walled, though. That's a massive wall from Neon. This is a fight-winning wall. This is a map-winning wall, I should say. They're going to have to wait for this Rein to get back before they can even touch. And 2 more walled. Neon again with a clutch wall. But that gets hits. The Earthshatter hits once again. They were left with their pants hanging down. And 2 kills go the way of Red Team. Max seems to have died, actually, killed himself somehow. But he does pick up a kill. But with 3 dead on the side of CMU, I'm not sure they can win this fight. And Barrier is out from Javier, just to make sure they have that extra staying power on this point, make sure they can properly clean up these kills. And with Mac going for the desperate Shatter there, CMU has no real chance to take this point back. D.Va Bomb out, just to make sure no one can even have a thought of getting back into this point. And so this is a very interesting map we just saw here. We really saw Red Team sort of lose their composure a little bit on the first map and really lose out on that Rein Goats mirror match. But they managed to pull it back despite really, really good walls from Neon in particular. And honestly, if it wasn't for the shatters of Red Team's Rein, this point, this map would have gone over to CMU. CMU needs to do a much better job of really countering and blocking these shatters, whether that's through Rein shields or Zarya shields, or even a Brig can sometimes get in a Rein's face and bash him out of the animation. So that, I think, was the major difference maker there in that map. It looks like we might be moving over to Hollywood here. This is an interesting map because last time we saw CMU play, they really preferred the Sombra on this map and played it to great effectiveness. So I wonder if we're going to see it again from Frosted, who was the one who brought out the Sombra. And it looks like it will be Red Team actually starting on this defense. And like I said, the other day we saw CMU bring out this Sombra on defense, not on attack actually, but on defense, they brought it out, and they were able to hold on B pretty effectively with it and neutralize a massive time bank by the side of the enemy team. And so as we load in here, I think that we're probably going to see the Sombra. So I wonder how Red Team will deal with this on their side. And actually, so far, it looks like it's Red Team with Pure locking in the Sombra on attack, and Frosted appears to be running this D.Va for now. So Hollywood is an interesting map because we've seen it played a lot in Overwatch League right now, and we see a lot of Rein goats to attack, but a lot of Winston goats to attack, which is what we're being shown right now on the side of CMU. And so the advantage you have with Winston here is Winston can sort of jump in and dive in and get a lot of cleave damage, get a lot of people very low, which makes it easy to clean up kills. But it looks like Red Team will actually not stick on this Sombra. They're going to go for the straight Rein Goats and see, maybe we see them wrap around this high ground here, throwing in the early Fire Strike, popping bubbles, but doesn't appear to get very much charge with those. And it does look like we will have Red Team wrapping around this high ground, trying to push CMU off, and they will do just that. Mac jumping in, trying to get a little bit of charge on that ultimate. Really wants that Primal Rage, but now there it's just a fight on the point. Schwinn actually hopping up with Frosty, trying to push this D.Va off a high ground. And now it'll actually be CMU that controls high ground, but CMU is picking up these kills on Dash and Paradox. And they will chase all the way to spawn. They will kill this Zen. I wonder if they're going to get this Lucio or Rein here staggered. And no, it does look like they will start to back off. They're going to leave this Baby D.Va demeched. And at 20% to her ult charge, she's going to have a little while before she gets that mech back. And what they're going to really do here is they're going to put Pure in and just have him spam up that Baby D.Va pistol to try to get this mech back. But they're not going to really engage till they have that mech. But this is valuable time being bought off the side of CMU. While this Baby D.Va doesn't have her mech, they can't really commit to a fight. And Swagged by Mom gets taken low, but will get healed up, it looks, by the Lucio. And Swagged by Mom does have this transfer line. They're going to have Grav soon. But with Javier going down first, that's a massive advantage going the side of CMU. These kills will most likely be cleaned up by CMU here. And I wonder if they're going to start chasing again. And they will. They hop on Swagged by Mom, trying to get those late stagger kills. And Paradox all by himself. And it looks like they're actually going to leave the Baby D.Va again. She got her mech back, and now she's out of mech, but this time a little bit closer to that mech. And it looks like this will just be CMU here, regaining point presence, resetting up, and they've done a fantastic job so far, just controlling space and finding early picks. And they're going to have 6 ultimates online to match 6 ultimates by Red Team. So really, this is a fight of who can more effectively use these ultimates and who's going to pull the trigger first. Rally gets popped, trying to keep this Red Team more healthy. But Neon actually gets shattered. Pure with a massive D.Va Bomb combo off the back of the shatter. This fight goes decisively in the way of Red Team. And they will get this payload rolling here. That was a very, very good execution on the side of Red Team. And CMU used a lot of ults there to really get nothing out of it. I don't believe they got a single kill out of that. And they used their Grav, their self-destruct, their Zen ult, and their Earth Shatter. And now they're going to take an early fight here. They de-mech Pure pretty early with just very good focus fire coming out. And actually, Mac is going to get off this Winston and switch to the Reinhardt. And both sound barriers being thrown in here. We'll have to see who can get more damage off the back of this, though. And Schwinn gets picked early, actually. And without this speed boost to disengage, Red Team is just going to speed onto them and most likely win this fight. Although, weird positioning there from the Rein to sort of go in that corner and stop shielding his team. But Grav gets thrown out and Trance to answer. This is a fight that's actually swinging back in the way of CMU. And they're going to start going aggressive into the spawn, but Max shield is very low, so I bet he's going to back up here. Yeah. Yeah, we're going to just see the backup here, and they're going to try to hold him at this choke. But Default has Grav online, and Dazer doesn't. So it's really on the back of Default here, maybe setting up a very good combo with Frosted to actually pull this fight through. And they don't have Sound Barrier, which is really the most effective counter to D.Va Bomb combo. So this combo could actually be massive from the side of CMU. But actually, it doesn't matter. Default just goes in and finds Swagged by Mom. And Neon picks up his counterpart and Dash. And they're just going to start pushing to the spawn. And there's 2 minutes left in the time bank here for Red Team. But if CMU continues to control the ult economy game, they're going to maybe actually full hold B here again. And CMU will give a little bit of ground here, respecting the push coming in. Actually, Shatter comes in and distracts them, hits enough people down for Pure to find a kill on Mac. This is going to be a fight cleanup here by Red Team. And they only had to invest 2 ults into that, so they're going to come back very nearly to a Grav. Both support ultimates, as well as their Brig ultimate. And they stagger Jar Jar tanks late, so they're going to get a lot of cart progress here. And we'll have to see how Red Team decides to take this defense setup. Lucio was a little bit behind, and really only up here with the Zarya and D.Va and Rein. And now they're coalescing a little bit because the cart is moving to them. Rally gets popped, actually, but Grav out. We'll have to see if this self-destruct combo can find Pay Dirt. Will not pick up a kill, and Grav right out to answer. We're seeing a support ultimate fiesta out here, but no one has actually dropped on either side quite yet. And now we go back to a very neutral fight. We'll have to see who can pick up this first kill. Frosted gets demeched, but during while that was happening, Neon picks up Paradox. I think that Red Team has to back up here. They cannot fight without the Rein. And with 30 seconds remaining, if they can pick up these late stagger kills, they're going to be in a good position to hold here. And they will lose Frosted, but that's actually not the worst thing in the world, because Frosted wasn't going to have mech, and so now Frosted gets to respond after a trade. So it will be a 6v6 again here very soon. Default actually playing this cheeky high ground. He wants to get this Grav on and not allow them to touch the cart. Although they will get it. We'll have to see how this D.Va is going to position. Try to eat this Grav maybe. Default throws in the Grav from the high rope. We'll have to see. Can kills be picked up? Nothing so far. Paradox, though, gets shattered. 2 kills going the way of CMU. And no kills out of that D.Va Bomb. This is cleanup from the side of CMU. Grav will get popped, but there's not enough people here. A Brigitte and D.Va can't actually break through the massive HP pools of these tanks. And that will be a hold on B for CMU here. Very interesting stuff so far coming out from both of these teams. Blue Team now had a very good Reinhardt play last map, and we saw them get many really good shatters, but I really think the shatter war in this map is going over to the side of Mac. I think his shatters have been way, way better, despite the shatter from, I believe it was Dazer, picking up helping to pick up the quad on point A. Mac's shatters have been a little bit more consistent and a little bit more valuable, in my opinion. And we'll have to see what both these sides decide to run out with. It looks like, for this defense, Blue Team here will actually not opt to go for the Winston. They're going to go for the Rein, which gives you a little bit less cleave damage. But also, most teams switch off the Winston after point A, as we saw from the side of CMU. So this really... Oh, actually, as I say that, Paradox looks like he's going to opt for the Winston here. And we saw that work to really great effect here from CMU. Really able to clean up frags and control the pace of team fights way better than the side of Blue Team. Frosted is locking in this McCree right now, but I think, yep, he's going to switch to the D.Va, and I think Jar Jar will, yep, go ahead, switch to the Zen, and we're just going to see the reverse of what we saw on the CMU defense. Early poke getting exchanged, And I think that we're going to see this rotation again from CMU. CMU wants to come up to the high ground. And actually, Paradox drops down, trying to get that early cleave damage. But they pick up Neon off the back of this. They didn't have enough resources there to actually keep their Brigitte alive. And this, well, Pure does get demeched, I think the kills are going to continue to roll in favor of CMU. Mac gets a charge actually on Dash, but he's going to pay with his life. And with Frosted being demeched, this is all but over for red team. Or I should say blue team, actually. And it looks like we're going to see a little bit of poke engaged back and forth here. And it looks like, actually, CMU is going to take this rotation, just try to get onto point. Zen's traded out, though, but with a kill on Neon, this is going to swing in the favor massively of blue team. Paradox actually decides to pop that Primal Rage. It didn't look like he was going particularly low, so I'm not sure he even needed to pop that ultimate for them to have won that fight. Maybe a little bit of an overinvestment from Paradox, but Paradox can really build that Primal Rage so fast that I don't think they're going to be too unhappy with trading that out for the fight win. And finally, it looks like on the side of CMU, some ults are going to be building up, but with a Grav advantage right here, I think that maybe blue team can actually just pull through with a very good Grav. It looks like CMU is going to be going for this rotation again. Didn't work out so well. Frosted eats Daisy's Grav, though. This is a massive momentum swing. If they can pick up a kill on the back of it here, but actually it looks like they're just going to go rotate for this high ground here. They want to get this high ground control, start their Zarya pumping out massive damage. And Schwinn will pop the sound barrier just to try to keep them a little bit safer here, but maybe a little bit early, actually, because they weren't under any particular pressure. Actually, both combos getting thrown out here. Better combo we see from the side of CMU, but maybe actually an overinvestment here from the side of blue, where they had already lost their Winston, and it was very unlikely that fight was going to swing back in their favor. And CMU will get an extension on their time bank here. They're up to 350 here, and they're going to actually spend no time getting this payload moving. They just want to take this space and establish their dominance here on Hollywood. But Dazer, up to 82% on that Grav, could be a difference maker in this fight. But Jar Jar Dinks is going to have that trance online to counter him, so we'll have to see who wins this sort of early poke war and who's going to pull the trigger on these ults first. And with the sound of the rally, they're going to go all in on this fight. And actually, Max throws out the Shatter, gets blocked by the Shield of Paradox. Grav comes out, and Trance will be used in return. Let's see if they can pick up kills on the back of this Grav. Paradox throws in the Grav throws in the Reinhardt Earth Shatter to no avail, and will get cleaned up actually off of that. And it looks like Swagged by Mom will not be able to survive this onslaught coming out here from the side of CMU. And they are pushing all the way to spawn. They demake this D.Va, and that's going to be a massive advantage for them in this next fight. But they will actually go ahead and finish that D.Va off. Get a little bit of a stagger there. Make sure they can continue pushing this cart through. And Pure is just now respawning, so they might actually have to go in and take this engagement a little bit earlier than they might otherwise like. But it looks like they're showing good discipline, but gets grabbed at the wall. That grab is massive. They can't touch the cart. And off the back of that, Frosted picks up 2 with the D.Va Bomb. And they're going to go all in. This Brigitte is not long for this world, and they will continue to clean up this fight. Really efficient fight coming out there, too. That was a very good combo coming out from the side of CMU. And Blue Team could have decided to invest the Transcendence there, but because of the way they get grabbed, decides to not. And now Blue Team will start pushing towards the cart, but Rally gets popped to make sure everybody has armor. But Paradox gets picked off very early, so despite a good grab, it might not matter all too much. And this is continued cart progress. And with 3 minutes at the very end of Hollywood, this is a massive time bank, and they have all the time and tools in the world to make sure they full complete this map. And Blue getting here a little bit late, gonna contest at the very last minute, We'll have to see if they can pick up these kills. Ult's coming out on both sides. Jar Jar Binks decides to commit the trance, and now Schwinn actually commits the barrier, making sure they're gonna win this fight. They wanna close this map out here and now. Actually, really big grab. After both support ults are used, there's nothing you can do to stop that grab from wiping your team. Last ditch shatter, but not gonna be fooled by that one is Mac. And we're gonna see the full complete here coming in the side from CMU. Really, really good ult usage coming out from them. Well, they didn't ever have the biggest combos. Their combos always seem to get value here on Hollywood. And honestly, very heads up play from the side of CMU, actually taking that fight a little bit slow, making sure that blue team had to invest both of their support ultimates, and then grabbing after all that was over to make sure they got the cleanup needed to win on Hollywood was really heads up play coming out there from CMU. And so we're gonna head to a tied series right now. We are 1-1 apiece, and it's a treat here today on the cast because we're gonna get to see Paris again, and Paris is looking like a very interesting map. Certainly one of the prettier maps that the Overwatch team has ever come out with. Really interesting sort of setup of how this map plays, and we haven't gotten to see very high level play of this map yet because it's not ever been in a tournament. So I'm interested to see what these two teams do on this map and how they choose to play it. And as we can see here, this is a 2CP map, so we're largely going to see players mostly funneling through here as a very narrow checkpoint, trying to get onto this point here, and eventually, after they cap that, they're going to try to take point B and see if they can close out this map. We are seeing Frosted lock in the Sombra here. As I mentioned on Hollywood, Frosted, a very, very good Sombra, able to get very good EMP efficiency coming through. And if we do see this Sombra, it's going to largely be up to the support play of the side of blue here, coming out from Swag by Bomb and Javier, to see if they can survive the onslaught that Frosted's going to bring to them. And actually, very interesting comps we're seeing from both. We're both seeing each team run out with this Hammond DPS comp that has become very popular on maps like Route 66. So we're gonna get to see some DPS here, which we haven't seen DPS play in what feels like years. So I'm really, really excited here to see which of these teams can out DPS each other and which of these teams are gonna be able to find these clutch shots onto each other. Actually, Swag by Mom by himself gets taken out. There was no support and no peel there for him. But as that happens, a little bit of a misplay where supports weren't exactly with the tanks, able to turn this fight back around. But now it's flipping a little back and forth. Dash gets taken down, and Rez is quickly expended on him. And it looks like CMU are going to come back here and fight it. But Jar Jar Binks taken very low already. Neon also taking a lot of damage. All these players getting very low. But Blue cannot actually clean up these kills besides on Jar Jar Binks. And with Javier going down, it's all but over for Blue team here. And very clean fight here in what we would call a neutral fight without any ultimates. Just able to show their superiority on DPS comps. And I'm super happy to see Pharah and Sombra and Tracer and Hanzo back seeing some playtime in Overwatch. And it looks like blue team actually here going to switch over to Goats, which might actually be able to hold off the onslaught here of these ults coming online. And I think that CMU here are going to give it a fight. And they do! Pick Swag by Bomb almost immediately. They can go in off this. But two quick kills answered. And what looked like a very advantageous fight for CMU, going down the drain very fast here. They're going to still commit to fight this. They want to get some of these ults online. And if not, use them. At least have them for the next fight. And EMP is very close here. And without Transcendence or a barrier, this could be a massive EMP here. Let's look where these players are going to set up. EMP catches 3, not supports, but they don't have support ultimates to work with. So no save here by the side of blue is actually capable of coming in. And Mac gets killed. I wonder if Schwinn is going to go for this res on him, if he can find it safe. But actually, what was looking like a really good fight gets quickly turned back with the death of Jar Jar Binks. But as I say that, Neon, massive barrage. This fight is not over yet. They're trying to burn down Paradox, but Neon gives his life for it. And with only Default and Mac, who recently fell, alive, they're going to have to give this up with only about 55% worth of the point progress. Jar Jar Binks here coming in late, probably just going to kill himself to go ahead and reset. And I'd be surprised if we don't see some changes coming in on the side of CMU. And it looks like Default will get that ball rolling by switching over to Zarya. It looks like they will leave Frosted on the Sombra, which I think is a very smart play here. Frosted has shown he's a very good Sombra, and if he can get these EMPs off on these supports, they can take very quick and decisive team fights. And it looks like CMU will be wrapping around over here, trying to get some positional advantage on the side of blue. And early poke coming out, nothing decisive so far. Javier going to take it a little bit low, but he will get healed up. Although, as I said, Sombra Frosted gets on point, trying to build up a little bit of charge and maybe actually split the team up. And Frosted is drawing the entire team away. And actually gets a very good EMP, but Javier is not caught in it. He gets barrier off, but it will not save Paradox. If they can clean up this fight, if CMU can clean up this fight, this will be massive. Mac, throwing out the Earth Shatter, will not find very much. And actually, solo grab on the Baby D.Va. I wonder if they wanted that to go in a different direction, but it somehow got caught on our player model. And actually, as I say this, kills coming back on the side of blue, enough to clean up the fight. No additional point progress will be picked up on that fight, which looked like a very good engagement out of the side of CMU. But Frosted will not be sticking on this Sombra. Very good Sombra player, and got a very good EMP there. But decides to go over to the D.Va to provide more self-sustain and the ability to eat those clutch Graviton serves. And they will just be taking this main pathing. Both rallies are going to get popped. Both teams will have armor. Frosted eats Dazer's grab, but it doesn't matter when Paradox hits a massive shatter on the side of blue. And although some good pressure is being provided here on Paradox, without enough members to really take this fight will easily go in the way of blue. And now, what was looking like a very good time bank from the side of CMU is just getting drained and drained. And they don't really want to have to be in this position where they don't full cap, because holding in a GOATS meta on 2CP maps against GOATS is a Herculean task. And CMU coming out here, very little to work with. They're going to have the Shatter online pretty soon, but that's all they can hope for. So I wonder if they're going to go into this as a dry fight, maybe try to get some ults out, let Dazer build up to that grab and use it, and then have a grab advantage. Yep, Dazer will commit that grab, gets kills, but I think CMU is absolutely fine with that. They really want to have that grab advantage and be able to win decisively with a grab. Although, it does mean Frosted going to get bullied here. He's trying to escape, and I wonder if they're going to let him out or if they're going to actually commit to the stagger. Yep, Dash will finish that kill, add another 5 seconds to that respawn timer, and whittle down the time bank of CMU even further. And actually, it looks like Default here taking a little bit of an aggressive position and trying to get that Zarya ult up. Really wants to have that online for the next fight. Frosted will just now be rejoining with the help of Schwinn. And a little bit of early poke damage. CMU not deciding to commit just yet, but it looks like they will start holding their W keys. Paradox gets stunned, pushed away, will hit another massive shatter. Oh my lord, this man has been styling on CMU. He has hit shatter after shatter. They cannot allow themselves to keep getting shattered by this man. And it's not even that Paradox is really working for these shatters. It's really, I think it's Mac being in odd positionings, going really aggressive, that just allows Paradox to shatter people with no real defenses to protect them from it. So Mac maybe has to work on his positioning a little bit here to make sure that he protects his team in these engagements. And Poke going back through, ult advantage. I think we will see combo come out here. Let's see if it can find pay dirt. Will pick up Dazer. That's an early kill going to CMU. And actually, Mac throws in the Shatter, and they will clean up off of that. If they can handle these respawns, this is a full point capture coming in from CMU. D.Va Bomb coming in to stall will actually pick up Default. Default might not have had his bubble down on cooldown, and now Blue Team might actually be able to get back into this fight. Let's see. Paradox getting picked up, but a big anti-nade. They need to keep Mac alive here. If Mac falls here, oh my God, Mac falls here. What was looking like a for sure full cap gets fully negated actually by a massive anti-nade coming out by Swagged. Swagged really just changed the whole momentum of that map. He hit a what we call an anti-nade, which denies healing on all of an enemy's team to anyone it hits, and he hit it on 3 players, most critically the Rein, who then had to play very defensively because he wasn't able to actually receive any healing from his healers there. And so we will see almost a full cap there coming in from CMU, but at the end, they just seem to crumble. They lost Default there to a D.Va Bomb, and really, we don't see Zarya's going down into D.Va Bombs too often. Usually, they just use D.Va Bombs and pop their shield to gain actually a free 40 energy, but I wonder if he didn't have his bubble up there to negate that damage coming in. And so, on CMU's attack here, we saw a lot of DPS-heavy comps, and it looks like that's what we're going to see again, actually, from both sides. Frosted, Neon, and Jar Jar in default, all going to be on these DPS heroes. And versus now Red Team coming in with a little bit of a more standard, interesting comp. They're going to have the Swag on Ana, Javier on Lucio, Pure on Sombra, Paradox on Hamster, Dash on Pharah, and Dazer on Zarya. And usually when we see these DPS heavy comps, we see 2 more DPS heroes, and usually without a second tank. So I'm interested to see how Red Team decides to attack this with this comp. But it looks like we're going to be pushing over to maybe a little bit more of a Goats composition, but Goats with Ana, which will allow a lot more healing to come in on the side of Red. Early poke being taken here. Neon is putting down good damage, already up to 30%, but it looks like they will just go for this rotation, try to stay out of the line of the sight of these damage dealers. And early poke being taken here. No decisive advantage for either team quite yet. But that's an interesting boop. Actually, we are going to see Dash going in for Frosted. Will not pick him up. But Default will pick up Pure. Pure unable to escape with his life. And now, this is where these DPS comps really shine. Because a lot of damage is going to be taken on the side here of Red. But as I say that, Dash picks up Frosted, but Neon answers back with 2 on 2 of the supports. So this fight is going back and forth, but now decisively, I think, 1 on the side of CMU. And a lot of damage now going to be taken here in this narrow sort of corridor, but Mac goes in too far, gets picked. Default, though, hits a very big pulse bomb into that room, and there's really no better time to put a pulse bomb down when people are all clumped up and playing in that death ball. You know, it's usually very, very rare that we see Tracers pick up multi-kills with these pulse bombs, but when everybody's playing so close together and just sticking right by each other, then you can see those multi-kills come out. And we'll see Frosted and Pure just sort of pass each other unknowingly. They're both trying to go for each other's backline. And Mac actually picks up 2 on the back of that very good pile driver. And this will be yet another rout coming out on the side of CMU. They are winning these team fights pretty decisively. I think what's been a massive swing factor here is Schwinn has come in with some very, very good reses, not ever really resing people where he feels like he's going to be in danger of his own life. Always resing very safely and very securely. And this is partially due to very good protection coming out by his teammates and very good situational awareness coming out from Schwinn himself. And now, this is the team fight that Red has to win. They're going to start investing their ultimates. But we're going to see an investment on both sides. Nano gets thrown out on the right, but he's hacked. He can't do very much. And actually, what we see there is a very interesting interaction. And a weakness of this comp that CMU is running is that when they get grabbed, they have no real support ultimates to actually counter that grab. And so they just grab 2 there, I believe, and get both of those kills. And really, they're going to likely clean up here on the back of that. Jar Jar Dinks answers on Pure, but with himself and Mac falling, this is the point over here to Red Team. And now, I think that CMU is going to have to swap off this comp, but it looks like Red will continue on this comp, and with a sound barrier advantage, they might be able to push with it effectively and actually win the team fight here. We'll see just a little poking going back and forth. It looks like a couple members, of Red were changing, and they're gonna switch over to full goats. And now that they're both full goats, we're gonna see the mirror matchup here. But as I said earlier, with the sound barrier advantage, and sound barrier gets popped actually pretty early, they're gonna see if they can come in and clean up some of these kills on the back of that. But Paradox actually going down first gets booped around a little bit and misplaced out of position, and this is just going to be a full cleanup on the back of this. And this Lucio trying to skate out with his life, I believe will actually get the escape here, but Pure will get staggered because of that. And now, what was a minor advantage for Red Team is really going to be answered in full force by CMU. CMU are very close to a lot of these ults that they're going to need to hold here. And so we're going to have to see if they can build them up here and use them effectively to actually win this map. Rally gets popped, so they're going to go, Red Team's going to go aggressive here. Actually, yes, Mac gets stunned and isolated. He gets taken out so early. And now, CMU is playing so far in the courtyard that they're not really going to be able to effectively fight. And they're scattered right now. It looked like Jar Jar went back to the point to try to contest, but the rest of his team was not so lucky. And Mac coming out early here, well, maybe wants to, play a little bit back. They don't want to give up this full capture, but Javier just booping him around. Will Javier be able to escape, though? Grabs get thrown out. Will they be able to clean up off of it? And sound barrier is out for CMU as well as combo. Frosted hits a massive Diva Bomb. This allows them to keep their hopes alive on this map. And really, that looked very bad there, specifically for CMU. It looks like they might have just gotten full cap there. But Frosted and Default, cool under pressure, able to keep their heads up and make the plays they need to win this map. And now, they're actually gonna continue to fight out here. Mac has to be careful he doesn't get stunned up again. He doesn't want to get picked early and allow even more progress to come in on this point. Actually, though, Dash getting sort of bopped around, but Javier picks up Mac again. Mac, first to die in a lot of these team fights, really has been a little bit outclassed here by the side of Red. And now, Stagger coming in again, and this time there is there might not be a combo to actually save CMU. Mac hits a good shatter, but it may be a little too late actually. Will actually Mac takes Pure for a ride there, but that means he's not on the point providing the shield. Actually, Diva Bomb comes out, will not find the kills. Frosted just gonna get solo grabbed here. They wanted this cleanup. And this should be the full cap coming in here on the side of Red. So really, I think the story of that map was Mac getting picked first. It's very odd, and it's odd to see your Reinhardt get that heavily focus fired, and done that well. But a lot of that work was sort of done by Mac's, sometimes at times very questionable positioning. Um, Sort of opening himself up to get these to receive these stuns from Brigida and get properly focus fired with Discord and um, the team focus firing them. So we're gonna have to see a little bit better play for them if they want to continue to pick up maps in the series. And it looks like we're going to Junkertown. Junkertown is a very interesting map, um, because I think it really is open to other comps besides Ghosts, especially on the first point. Historically, we know this point for the pirate ship comp where you run Aretha and Bastion, and you put them on the little treasure cart here and just run that as far as you can go with it. But I think I would be surprised to see pirate ship come out here. And I think one of the most interesting things tonight is we've seen very good DPS flexibility from both of these teams. We saw a lot of DPS from both of these teams coming out on Paris, and as the PTR patches come through, I think we're going to be seeing a lot less of goats and a lot more sort of traditional 2-2 comps, especially with Lucio really receiving a major nerf to his speed boost. I think that we're going to see a resurgence of a lot of these DPS characters coming back. And while it is red on the attack, CMU is coming out with another comp that we see a lot on Junkertown, which is the double sniper, which is very, very popular. And we saw a lot of it in Overwatch League Season 1. So I'm excited here to see Default, see if he can click some of these enemies' heads. And Default actually taking a very, very cheeky angle here. I wonder if they're going to be expecting this. And actually, we do see Pirate Ship, it looks like, coming out from the side of Red. So we have some exciting comps here today. And Dash will actually be up on that high ground too. Looks like Default is just going to give a little ground. Doesn't want to get headshot by the Hanzo. A little bit of ground will be given. Nice hook, though, from the side of Jar Jar. Gets that massive early pickoff. And now this Pirate Ship comp is rendered useless. The strength of Pirate Ship is really the immense amount of damage a Bastion can put up. But without the ability to really get set and really set their comp up in the way they want it to be, the Bastion isn't going to be very effective. And we're going to see pretty much the immediate swaps coming out here on the side of Red. They're going to be switching up to full goats. They know they can't run this Bastion comp anymore without proper setup. Another cross hook mat from the side of Jar Jar. This man's hooks have been on point today. But getting aggressive, actually, off the back of that, it looks like Mac is used to forced to use his Fortify a little bit early. Doesn't want to go down too fast. But Neon actually picks up his counterpart in Dash, and kills are starting to stream back in here for CMU. And Frosted will lose his mech. But this fight is basically already won by CMU, and CMU is going to have a wealth of ultimates online here to continue to take successful fights. I've been particularly impressed so far. Jar Jar Dinks has been hitting massive hooks, and Neon has taken the head off a couple of the enemy players so far. Default will pop that in for sight, and so now they know where all the players are. Default, though, getting hard dived by a D.Va. I wonder if he can survive this. Schwinn coming in with the clutch heals, and now it looks like Pure will have to back off. But on the back of that, Neon hits another massive headshot. And it looks like Jar Jar Dinks and Swagged are just going to have a little fight over here. But that was always going to be a fight won by the Roadhog. And this is actually, that's not an awful fight taken by Red Team there, because they did manage to get a lot of the ults out. They got the Orisa Supercharger out, they got Neon's Dragon Strike, they got Whole Hog out, and they got Infrasight. So they're going to be coming in at an ult advantage, and we'll have to see if they can convert those ults into kills here. Actually, Shatter comes out, Paradox decides to go aggressive on the Shattered Neon, so he's not there to shield Dazzler. And it looks like Red actually wants to continue to take this fight, but Schwinn going for the ballsy res there. He might have been able to get to be punished for that, but they don't seem to be able to actually come through with that. And it looks like, despite some heroics coming out from the side of CMU, this fight will eventually start turning in the favor of Red. And it looks like Jar Jar, maybe he's gonna go for the contest, but I don't think they're gonna. I think they're gonna try to hold here on point B. Jar Jar thinks better of it in that instance. Sometimes you have this desire to go out and 1v6 people, but rarely, if ever, a good idea. And Bubble's coming out early. Jar Jar will pop the whole hog, despite them getting grabbed. Will Mac turn to shield? Yes, turns the shield, but doesn't save Jar Jar, who's actually not in the grab and on the other side. So this will be a couple quick kills coming out on the side of Red. And I think, yep, Jar Jar just wanted to use the whole hog there, see if he can get some value, but he will switch over to the Zen. But the disadvantage of switching over to the Zen this late is Swagged already has Trance, and that's a very valuable tool in these team fights, and Jar Jar will have to start from nothing. And with a really tilted ult economy here, and actually, Paradox is going to get aggressive right off the back of that. Will pick up 2 with the help of with Javier, who picks up Schwinn as well. And it looks like Mac is gonna take someone for a ride there. Nice to get some damage, but ultimately will not mean very much. And we are going to see Red aggressively push in to point C here. They took that point B very, very fast. They only had to win 2 team fights to do it, and they won those very convincingly. Rally is going to get popped here on the side of Red. They're going to get very aggressive. Frosted sends out the D.Va Bomb. Let's see if we can find Paydirt. No, but Paradox gets a little isolated, and now they will follow up with the Shatter. This is a very good Shatter. As a Rein player, whenever you see the enemy Rein go down and you realize there's no barrier on the side of the enemy team, you have this instinctual desire to just press your Q button at the fattest Shatter you can see. And now, actually, both of these teams are going to fight up here on the high ground. CMU coming out with this very smart play. They don't want to just give up this high ground for free, because high ground as Zarya is very, very advantageous. But no, they will eventually give up, but they get a little bit baited, and Default just comes back with the grab. Although, Default will get shattered after that, gets picked up. Schwinn with the sound barrier. CMU thinks they can stay in this. They think they can win this. And with Jar Jar Dinks picking up Swagged, I think they very well might be able to. And now, it looks like we're just going to see the exact same thing. Looks like Mac might have just fallen down there. But now, the rest of the team decides to hop up and join them. And, ooh, Mac going for this very sneaky Shatter. Oh, but gets spotted out. Gets spotted out by Dather, unable. And actually, Mac will pay for that little cheeky play with his life. Jar Jar tries to come in with the Transcendence a little bit too late. And it looks like Frosted will try to delay this payload a little bit longer, but will eventually get cleaned up. And with a minute 30 on this time bank, this is still very realistic for Red to push this all the way to the end. And actually, it looks like Zarya and D.Va have both found high ground here, so they're going to have a major positional advantage over the side of CMU. It looks like speeding directly onto the Reinhardt, they want him. But actually, as they say that, Neon gets fragged back. And actually, it looks like Paradox is just going to go balls to the wall swinging his hammer here. And we'll start picking up these kills in favor of Red. And Frosted, yet again, trying to delay on Cart for as long as he can, but with this excellent focus fire coming out from the side of Red, will not be able to delay really more than a second. And this is last-ditch territory here, and we can kind of see Lucio and D.Va lagging behind. Lucio trying to provide that speed boost, get D.Va back in the fight. And 2 Shatters come out, and actually, I think this might be massive. Frosted with a very, very good bomb to follow up on that Shatter there, and it looks like CMU will just start cleaning up these kills. That was a very good shatter coming out from Mac. Mac knew that the Ryan wasn't in position to block that, and Mac hit a very, very fast shatter, which then Frosted was communicated to, and Frosted threw out his bomb. Only got really swagged, but in these ghost compositions, all you really need is one kill to win a fight. And Grav will get thrown out, Trance to answer. Doesn't look like any kills are coming either way so far. But looks like Jar Jar Dinks a little bit out of position. D.Va, though, coming in, Frosted the hero, getting the players of Red off of Jar Jar. And Frosted has eaten so many Gravs today. Oh, this man is so good on D.Va. I think this is the 5th or 6th Zarya ult he's eaten. Although, it doesn't seem to matter too much with Red coming back and really claiming out these kills. And Paradox tries to hit a shatter there, but mostly just shatters into the Zarya bubble, so nothing really to be found there. But they will effectively clean up off those kills. And while they were able to get it to overtime, CMU, I can't imagine CMU is going to be super happy with the way that defense went. We see a lot of teams able to full hold here on A, and if they don't full hold on A, they at least drain a lot of time off B. But the side of Red took B very fast in 2 very decisive team fights, just due to the ultimate advantage they had. So actually, Red out here able to come up with this full map completion. So we're gonna have to see if CMU can answer in kind. And I'm interested to see the comps they're going to come out with. It looks like both teams are sort of hovering towards GOATs, and I think that's probably what we'll see them both come out with. I was very impressed with Neon on the Hanzo, really finding those clutch headshots on enemy squishies, and Default actually hitting some crazy cross-map hooks. I think that we are going to go a more standard GOATs comp here. But as I say that, it looks like the call has come through for CMU. They want to try out this pirate ship strat. And pirate ship could actually, I think, be very good against GOATs. Unless GOATs is able to really properly maneuver and speed onto the pirate ship comp, they might have a lot of trouble here dealing with this on the side of Red. And actually, they come out with a cheeky response. They are not fooled at all. Jar Jar Dinks, just as quickly as he got out there, he was taken out. And this will prompt an immediate swap from the side of CMU. And Pure taken very low. He's going to be able to get out. But for a second, they're not going to have that D.Va protection. Well, actually, Mac a little bit far forward. I wonder if he's going to get taken out here. But actually, they isolate Pure, who is even further behind, and are able to clean up that kill on him. And now, it looks like Red is going to have to give some ground. This cart will get around the bend here, I think, before the next contest comes through. And so, Red has to play really safe here. They don't want to really risk losing another player and getting staggered and not even really be able to make a defense on this point here. And they will start dropping off the high ground. You see Swagged is actually up there on high ground still. Will eventually drop down. Sometimes Zens like to play on that high ground because it's very hard to dive them. But actually, Neon gets fragged by Pure, so this fight could very quickly turn in the favor of Red. And with, actually, it looks like Dash popped that ult just to make sure they could really get in and finish off those kills effectively. And now, this will be the point. Stop before they reach A. And now, we'll have to see how the ult economy is looking. It looks like a little bit better on the side of Red. They're going to have Grav as well. Default will have a Grav to answer, but support ult's a little bit closer on the side of Red. Massive shatter coming out from Paradox. He hides behind them. He came in with the sneaky shatter that we saw Mac try to do on point C there. Doesn't actually get spotted out and will end up picking up a couple kills off the back of that. Now, this might actually be a good window for CMU to start engaging because they're going to have this Lucio speed boost to really aggressively push Whereas Javier is really now just getting back. And now ults are coming up. Grab comes out. Both grabs come out. Both combos come out. We'll see who has the bigger bang. They both account for 1 kill, but with a kill already picked up on Pure, this might swing in the side of CMU. But no, quickly as I say that, better focus fire, better team fight really coming out here for the side of Red. And now this is gonna be a brutal stagger. We just see Frosted trying to run away with his life, but they Zarya barrier him, but he gets taken out anyway. And now actually Neon uses his rally, but he's going to want that one back. And good shatter coming out, but Sound Barrier right there to counter. And now it really looks like CMU is not getting all that much value out of their ultimates. Combos and ult usage have been much cleaner on the side of Red. Actually, another grab coming out here, and it will find Bader. Swag just decides to save that trance for a rainy day, but I think that he might have liked to use it there. And now it looks like actually Red has a much better ult economy here, coming in with the Transcendence, Pure with the D.Va Bomb. Paradox actually, does he do it again? He does! You guys gotta check your corners. He's done it to you twice. D.Va Bomb coming in, but it's not gonna matter. This is the map over. Grav comes out just to try to see if they can maybe squeak the team fight out, but Paradox coming out here and dominating on this map of Junkertown. Dazer decides to throw out the 3rd Grav in the past 2 minutes. Will be an easy cleanup on the side of blue here. And really, we've just seen this Rein battle go so decisively to the side of Red. And I think that's really been the major difference maker here, is that Red has just been so consistently winning the Rein battle over CMU that, you know, when you're winning essentially what is an extra team fight every match, you build up such an advantage for yourself. And Paradox really coming out, and I think CMU has to show a lot more respect here to this Rein player, who has really been the difference maker in today's match. And it looks like we're going to go into Oasis, another control map. Earlier in the series, we saw Lijiang go the way of Red, so we're going to have to see if they can continue their solid play on control here on Oasis. And it looks like we will be loading in here shortly. So we're going to have to see if these teams opt into the Rein Goats mirror match again. It looks like actually Pure is going to be starting off on this Sombra if he decides to roll out with it. Dash on that Torbjorn, probably we're not going to see that played today. Although he would be my hero if he did roll out with it. It looks like CMU is just going to be rolling out this very standard Rein Ghosts. And it looks like on the side of Red, they will commit to this Sombra. So we'll have to see if Pure can get a lot of value here out of that pick. And both teams will sort of opt into the same rotation. Pure here on this low ground, gonna try to probably look for this Zenyatta here, who, if he goes a little bit too far from his team, will just hack Frosted though. Super good hack. Frosted, I don't know what he was doing there. He was just sort of standing still. And actually, because of that hack, Dazer gets 2 early picks and will take probably a very definitive lead in ult charge here. And Jar Jar Dinks does answer on Pure, so that's a feels good man kill, but will not end up making the difference in this team fight. It looks like we will just see a little bit split here. Neon in the back here with the rest of his supports, just sort of spy checking for the Sombra, wants to make sure that she's not around, gonna try to kill the Zen. Earthshatter comes out. It looked like it was blocked, but Frosty somehow gets hit by that, and fortunately they're unable to really follow up on that. And now it will be the recontest, but Schwinn gets picked a little bit early, maybe trying to go for a boop of that Ryan into his team, but it looks like Pure is just going to be building up on this EMP, and he will have it for the next fight. And I think really a defining story of this map so far is look at where Javier and Schwinn are in ult charge. Javier up there at about 87% now versus Schwinn, who has died kind of early in two of these team fights, very low at 36%. And I wonder if he's even going to get this ult off before the end of the map. And actually, massive EMP coming out here from Pure. Hits Jar Jar Dinks, denies the trance, easy team fight win. And now, if I'm the side of CMU, I'm kind of panicking. The ult economy for Red is in way better shape here. And with really only one team fight left, they're going to be at a massive disadvantage. I think they're going to need a miracle here to take this map. Both rallies will be popped, trying to get a little bit of armor on each side, make that Zen a little bit more immune to getting dove by a Sombra. Grav gets thrown out, and actually Shatter gets thrown in. Nothing to show for it, though. Combo is going to get thrown in by the side of CMU. We'll see if they can pick it up. Mac, though, finds the charge on Javier. That's a massive way to start this opening fight. They needed to win this fight here, but they've lost default. Jar Jar Dinks, though, answering back, but Pure once again trades it out. And this fight is going in the way of Red. Pure taken very low, but will get healed up. And a victory rally is coming out here for Dash. They know they've won this fight. And that will be all she wrote for point 1 of Oasis. Really, I would like to say that map was close and we saw some really good team fights there. But really, Red Team took a commanding lead and never really let it up. And although it was very, very close there at the end, and there was a couple of kills traded out for CMU, unable to really find the follow-through to actually win that team fight. And it does look like we are going to be going to a pause here real quick. So we will be back as soon as this pause is over. And so, looking a little bit at the trajectory of this series so far, CMU has only really picked up one map, and that was Hollywood. And they look quite good on Hollywood, and they've really made it close on several of the maps here. But unable to close out on a lot of these maps, and while Hollywood was a very good map for them, they looked a little bit lost, and honestly, all of this match, it seems that the ult economy has just been in way better shape for the side of Red. And even more, honestly, than their ult economy being better, Red is just getting more value out of their ultimates than CMU does on average. So they really need, I think, to clean up their combos and make them more efficient. And that will, hopefully allow them to start getting back in this game. It looks like we're going to see the same comps we saw on last map. Pure playing a fantastic Sombra. His Sombra was lights out, no pun intended. So we're really going to have to see if he can keep up that level of play. We'll actually get the early hack on Frosted again. That may lead to some opening kills here for the side of Red. But it looks like they will be able to back off, get healed. CMU with a little bit of positional advantage here on the point, able to just rein in a bit more damage, but looks like Paradox was trying to commit to Mac there, but thought better of it. And it looks like first cap will go to the side of CMU. And they do clean up Javier, who tries to go in and maybe get a boop, or at least contest the point, but will get punished for it. And now they're gonna put more damage under the shield of Ryan. They don't want to let him have an advantage in next fight. And we are just gonna see Red slowly approaching here. They want to work up some of their ults and really get these combos online. Neon will pop the rally almost immediately, though. He wants to make sure his supports are all armored up. But it looks like Mac gets hacked, and off the back of that hack, a massive shatter comes out from Paradox. That was a really amazing combo set up there. Frosted, though, manages to pick up Dash off the grab. And although the Trancing Zenyatta gets taken for a ride by Paradox, he's going to be way out of position and will quickly get cleaned up. And now it looks like we're going to be seeing the reset here. And actually, Swagged gets picked very, very late. That is going to be backbreaking for the side of Red here. They want to really set up aggressively with this EMP, and maybe even throw the Shatter after the EMP. But now they have to wait a while longer for that slow Zenyatta to get back in position. But now, Red will be trying to set back up here. They have got their players in position. EMP looks like it's going to come out. Yep. Hits 5. And Shatter actually comes out here to make sure they clean up. That is a very popular combo we see, because when you don't have your abilities as a Reinhardt, you can't shield or block a Shatter. And we are going to see another pause here. We actually see Default take himself out, probably shut the ground with high energy and manage to take himself out. But by the time he gets back, he will have another Graviton in play. And so it'll be on Swagged and Javier to stop that play from getting any value with their support ultimates. And on the side of Red, we do see a decent ult economy. Like I said, they're going to have their Transcendence and their Sound Barrier, as well as that Graviton Surge coming online, and just 15%. So Dazer, with probably pretty high energy right now, should be able to farm that up in just a right click or two. And actually, I think the big counterplay here is Jar Jar Dinks still a little bit of a ways off of that Transcendence of his. And Schwinn really nowhere even close to his Sound Bearer, having just really invested it. So if Dazer can set up a good grab here, they could win a fight here very easily. And now it will be CMU trying to come back in here, close this point out. They have really, they only have to win one fight here to win this map. And it looks like CMU will just rotate towards the main choke point here. Actually, Grav gets thrown in. They should be able to follow this up, get kills, but Pure maybe goes a little bit too far, gets punished for it. But with Default going down, that Grav is no longer online and no longer an option. But good, I think, discipline here from the side of CMU, not investing those ults, understanding that they have to win one team fight, really saving those ults for a better fight, and that's really going to pay dividends for them, I think. So we will see, once again, setup coming here from CMU. They're going to rotate a little bit towards the left. Looks like Frost is just spy checking, wants to decloak that Sombra if possible. But Javier gets picked early, cannot Sound Barrier, and off the back of that, Frosted finds 2 with his self-destruct, and this will be very easy cleanup coming here on the side of CMU, and now Red has to run as fast as they can back to this point to try and make a defense. And with actually Pure gets taken down by Frosted. And so this will be a hard fight for them to win. But Grav actually comes out and may be able to be cleaned up off the back of that. And Schwinn actually with a Sound Barrier that might just seal this game out. Pure comes in, last minute EMP, wants to probably try to find the Zenyatta. Gets supported well there though. And this will be this stage of Oasis going in favor of CMU. And now we are headed to our final tiebreaker map of Oasis. Tied up at 1-1 apiece here. This one is for all the marbles, for all of Oasis. And it looks like, despite performing a little bit less than optimally in that last map, Pure is going to stick on this Sombra, which, like I said earlier, he has shown us a very good Sombra. Shown us he can get really, really effective hacks off, but maybe a little bit less effective than Red would have liked for that particular map. And quickly, we will see CMU running out on this Winston Ghost and trying to take the high ground here, trying to take that away from Red and give themselves a major positional advantage. But actually, Sombra gets spotted out here by Frosted, forced to translocate, and now this is the go button. CMU will be all in on this fight, trying to get these frags. Frosted, though, taking a little bit of an interesting position, trying to get behind that Rein Shield. Paradox gets stunned up and quickly taken out. And let's see, can CMU clean up the rest of these kills? And it looks like they will do just that. But, on the other hand, Pure comes out of this fight with about 80% to his EMP. And if he can get that fast enough and get a good EMP off, he might catch CMU a little bit off guard. And we're just going to see, it looks like CMU is opting for a low ground, but now they jump right onto high ground. That allows the Winston to really get a lot of free damage in and really build up that Primal Rage very fast, which we see Mac actually already at about 70% after one team fight. EMP comes out, but doesn't catch Jar Jar, and he comes in with a trance to make sure all his teammates stay alive here. We see Poke being exchanged back and forth. Frosted actually gets hacked. Not much damage on him, though. Jar Jar Dinks actually snipes Pure and secures that kill. But actually, off the back of a big Earth Shatter coming out here from Paradox, Red will clean up this fight. And they only stand at about 50%. So they're going to have probably to at least win 2 more team fights should they flip this point. And actually, it looks like Mac will come here and commit the Primal Rage. Mostly just likely wants to stall on the point, get a little bit of extra percentage, and then I would expect to see him switch off. But because he does that, he allows the enemy team to essentially farm 1,000 HP worth of ult charge off of his body. And so now we're going to see Red aggressively push up into the spawn. And actually, Pure over here trying to be annoying, but does get spy checked by Frosted and has to be forced to translocate, actually. And now we're going to see the approach coming in from CMU. They're opting to go through this middle checkpoint. Barrier comes in, actually, immediately. Gets a couple very low. But actually, despite the immensely low HP pools on the side of CMU, they clutched this fight with a very, very well-timed sound barrier. And now, actually, CMU will pick this point back up and have to win about 1 more team fight, give or take, to actually secure this point. But Pure is coming back with EMP, so Jar Jar Dinks, he needs to survive this. He needs to be in a position where he's not going to be threatened by this EMP. And so, as we hear that sort of chime, it's getting very close to the end of this map. And Pure gets stunned. Actually, EMP's after. But because of that, Jar Jar Dinks doesn't get caught and manages to get the trance off. But they throw in the grab there a little bit staggered, knowing that the trance will be over before the grab is over, making them able to really have the follow-through to clean up that fight. And so now we're going to see the point flip back at 99% to 40% here. So I would expect maybe a drier push unless that CMU can get some ultimates up here. So we're just going to see the standard approach that they've been doing. Frosted gets hacked, but gets immediately bubbled. Will not take much damage. So Sombra will be left holding the bag on that one. And now we see the approach. Max shield getting pretty low. Actually, Lucio hacked, able to be cleaned up. Shatter comes out, will not find anything. Actually, it does hit the Zen, so they're able to clean up off that fight. And now, we are approaching last fight territory here. Frosted needs to get out with his mech. If Frosted loses his mech here, it would be very difficult for CMU to end up taking this Oasis map. Frosted pushing up a little bit aggressively, uses his boosters to do so. I'm wondering who they're going to send to touch this point. It looks like Frosted and Default are coming around. Default gets a very big grab off, but does get hacked for it. Well, let's see. Early picks favoring CMU here, but dual supportals used here for the side of CMU, able to keep everyone healthy. And Paradox goes for the last minute shatter, but he hits the shield, unable to connect. And Zarya, it looks like, might just have to go out here and play in traffic for a little bit. I don't think she's getting out of this one. And that will be CMU picking up Oasis. And so I think that map was really very interesting because it showed a massive swing where in the first game, it seemed like CME was very unprepared for the Sombra and managed to get caught out a couple times by her EMPs. But as the map progressed, they really seemed to adapt to it very well. Make make very sure that Jar Jar in specific wasn't in the range for that EMP, and he came in and saved a couple team fights there with his Transcendence. And it looks like we're going to be on our way to Numbani here, the home of Lucio. Or not, I should not say Lucio. Lucio's from Brazil, I should say. Home of Orisa, I should say. Her creator, Effie Oladele, I want to say, originally from here and used actually Omnix to create Orisa. I do not think though we will see Orisa on this map. She can be used in a sort of bunker comp here. Works especially well with Junkrat and Torb, but that's more of a plat strat, I would say, than what we would actually see from high level teams. It looks like Red will be attacking first, and right now they're sort of opting into this DPS comp. But as I say that, it looks like they're going to be baiting us and switching off to the more traditional, more meta Goats comp. And on the side of CMU, they're really opting with this Winston Goats comp, and I think this is where they've really looked their best. They really looked very good on Winston Goats, able to put in a lot of that cleave damage and win a lot of fights through the play of Mac. And we're just going to see the D.Va Scout here. D.Va just wants to know, make sure they're not running any funny business. And so we will just see this initial high ground defense. Schwinn making his way up. He might go for a boop here on this Ryan. He actually boops him back a little bit. And we will see that the full dive come out here. Mac can take it a little bit low, but they will find dash. And now, this is where this Reinhardt comp really starts to struggle because they don't have their Brigitte to effectively stun this Winston. So he's going to be able to get a lot of cleave damage while this Brigitte is returning from spawn. And I wonder if CMU is going to opt to maybe go and dive this Brigitte, try to get her as she returns to the fight. And we see Brigitte sort of linking around here. Will maybe actually, I think she will make it back to her team here. Mac getting taken a little bit low with Frosted, able to get healed up, gets stunned. He will survive though for now. Pure chasing very far into the backline. I think Pure will get demech for this, but they trade Schwinn in the meantime. And Pure will die, but they're about to cap this. They need to get on point. Mac able to touch, and they come in with the Primal Rage, immediately get 2. And now, this is going to be full cleanup. That is very good primal rage value from Mac coming in, and he's really displayed a stellar Winston here today. Really providing a lot of effective damage, and maybe not always being the final blow on these kills, but really providing the damage necessary for these kills to come through. And now Grav will be up here on both sides, but without a support ultimate to really counter on the side of CMU, this could be very dangerous for them. And Grav comes out first for the side of CMU. Big Brigitte stun. Brigitte stunned the Reinhardt there to set up and make sure that shield was not in position to protect the rest of red team. And now, off the back of that, Schwinn will be very close to his sound barrier. So if Schwinn can get this sound barrier up in time to protect from Grav, we could see a full hold come out here on Numbani. And on the side of CMU, we are going to have another Primal up for Max. I'm wondering how he's going to really use that effectively. Mac does get stunned up, able to get saved. Early sound barrier, though. Schwinn comes out with the sound barrier. Mac uses the Primal actually just to stay alive, but with 2 kills coming through on the side of Red, this fight should just be in cleanup phase for Red. Mac able to get a little bit of a consolation kill on the Brigitte there. Won't end up mattering very much, and he will probably pay with his life here. And I think they are most likely going to stagger one of these 2 kills here. They're going to look for these staggers pretty aggressively, but it doesn't look like the full fighting force is up here quite yet. But they don't manage to secure the staggers, but they do manage to take a lot of space. And on Numbani, we see a lot of holds very close to where the cart is right now. But because of the way that fight ended, Red is able to take a lot of positional advantage here and have an advantageous fight. And Paradox, he does it again! He comes out with a sneaky shatter. Unable to follow it up on this time, though. Comes out very good shatter. And really almost punishes CMU for not checking their corners yet again. But fortunately for the side of CMU, they are not going to be able to win that fight. Rally coming out on the side of Dash here, as well as the Grav. They want to take this fight aggressively. Let's see if the self-destruct can find value. And they will not quite far. But Frosted finds Dazer with his, and this makes it a player advantage here on the side of CMU. And Mac coming in here a little bit, trying to make space for his team. Looks like, actually, though, Javier will demech Frosted, which will give Red an advantage coming into the next fight. They might just try to kill this baby D.Va here if she's going to push that far up. Frosted really needs to get this mech in time for this next team fight, or this could very decisively go in the way of Red. We see initial poke here, Mac getting taken to about half, and Default actually falls. So this is a massive advantage here for the side of Red. And Red now will just push up, stagger these kills. They're going to pick up Schwinn, and they're going to pick up Frosted next. And this cart will get back rolling. But a lot of time here drained on the side of Red. And so CMU might have an opportunity here to get back and touch before this actually reaches point B of Numbani. And with good tools to actually take it, they're going to have about 5 volts to actually take the fight. So very winnable fight coming in here from the side of CMU. And they're gonna start contesting right now. They don't want to give up an inch more of progress. Shatter comes out, hits Jar Jar, but will Pure be able to pick up that kill? Yes, they will. They'll pick up 2. And it was looking like a very good fight here for CMU with a lot of tools. Just not go the way they want it to. Extra time here getting added to the side of Red now. That CMU has been pushed back. And there's 2 minutes left on the time bank for Red to pick up the rest of point C. And they're going to have a gauntlet to run through here if they really want to get it done. And a lot of good tools coming out. Early Grav coming out. Let's see if they can pick up kills with this combo. And actually, Javier gets picked up. But combo comes back on the other side. Will not find anything, actually, though. Used to no effect. And now, CMU is going to push up aggressively, and they're going to find these kills and really go in and take a massive positional advantage here. And you can see Mac actually just pushing all the way up to the spawn doors. Wants to see if he can get some extra damage there on Paradox. But looks like they probably will. Actually, Mac, interesting position. The rest of his team has gone to high ground here. Mac choosing to not go to high ground. Wants to make sure he doesn't get put in a bad position in rotation. And it looks like the rest of CME will join him down here. And a minute left to push this payload all the way to the end. But Swag getting picked first is not going to help their case. And now, this is another team fight one, and at least 30 seconds will drain off this time bank. And really, Red has one more opportunity to really push this payload to the end. But with Pure getting staggered here, he will just jump off the edge. But not a good sign for the offense here for Red. Grav will be up from default, but both support ults on the side of Red will be able to counter it. But I wonder if default tries to use this Grav to push them off the payload and cause some disruption in the ranks of Red. And right now, it looks like Red will be able to get touched. Swagged all by himself, forced to pop the trance early just to make sure he doesn't die. That's actually really big. A massive mistake there coming through from the side of Swag, but Default's Grav gets eaten. So, not going to matter too much as the kills roll in here for Red. And Swag is very lucky there that he had that Transcendence, or this fight could have looked a lot different. And now, CMU will try to come in here and make one last-ditch offense. And they do have a couple of tools to do it, but they're going to be walking right into a grab. And I wonder if they're going to get grabbed here at the corner. And actually, Paradox, yet again, going for the sneaky shatter. Paradox has just been a monster tonight on the Rye. He has gone for this sneaky shatter play at least 4 times now. I don't recall a time when CMU has ever really spotted it out and really punished Paradox for playing in that manner. And now, with the full completion coming through from the side of Red, CMU will have to match this if they want to stay alive on this map. And Numbani is an interesting map, especially with Goats, because we see a lot of teams being held, especially at the end of Point C. So being able to push it all the way there is really going to be a massive advantage for the side of Red. And right now, it looks like both teams sort of opting for this Winston 3-3 comp. I think that Mac has probably the advantage here, as he's shown to be the better Winston. Where it sort of changes, I think Mac has really shown that he's way more comfortable on this Winston and very good at it, but seems to be outclassed a little bit on the Reinhardt by Paradox. And we will have CMU rolling out here on the offense. Early high ground control, just gain for a little bit of information by the side of CMU. Right now it looks like CMU is going to opt to go on this high ground. Looks like Mac going down here to sort of pincer them, try to get this early damage down. Swag getting taken to half. Mac also will join him at half. We'll have to see which of these sides can really get the first kill. And it looks like they trade the Brigitte for the Lucio, so we'll have to see which of these teams can pull out this fight. But with kills being cleaned up on Mac and Jar Jar, this will just go the way of Red Team. And now, a solid defensive stand here from the side of Red. Losing their Brigitte early was a little bit of a scary moment for them, but they were almost immediately able to trade back. And now, Red will be ahead in a lot of these ults, and they're gonna have the grab probably online before CMU does. Now, actually, Paradox getting taken off high ground. They actually have to full commit now to low ground after Paradox gets booped. Frosted, though, loses his mech, so now crucially unable to eat this damage. And it looks like Frosted may just get cleaned up. Trance gets forced out, though, which is a minor consolation here to the side. But Jar Jar Dinks also decides to commit the Trance. Maybe a little bit ill-timed there. But if they're able to clean up, maybe it won't be such a bad mistake. But it looks like they're just going to lose out here. And they invested 3 ults into that fight and don't have a tick of progress to show for it. And now, Default does sort of get a pity prize in killing Paradox, but Paradox will be back soon enough. And actually, Paradox hopefully will get back fast enough, but it looks like minor positional advantage going here while the Winston is still sort of out of play. But Red Team playing it well, not really overcommitting. And actually, Mac gets grabbed here, doesn't have Primal Rage anymore to actually escape it, so he will get taken down very quickly. Frosted going to lose his mech, and this will be the teamfight win coming in for the side of Red. Schwinn getting staggered late, will not have that sound barrier quite yet, still has to work his way up. Whereas Javier is sitting on his, so he will have his, and he will probably have the Trance by the time that Default gets his next grab. So, what was looking like an interesting offense here that had some opportunities to succeed very quickly has turned into a full hold potential. And actually, grabbing Paradox, Dazer kills himself! Dazer provides the opening pick for CMU for free! And now, quickly leapt on the side of CMU, and these kills will just be cleaned up here. And now, Mac and Neon and Default get to sit on point and cap and get this payload start moving throughout the streets of Numbani. And Mac and Default are just taking this high ground right here. They really want to have this positional superiority over the enemy team. And just stay here, just build up grabs, and really try to get that snowball rolling, because they don't have a lot of time to work with here on this point. They have to do it as fast as possible. And actually, it looks like the high ground rotation will come in from the side of Red and force CMU off this high ground. Pure goes in for the boop on Neon there. Just wants to make sure he gets out. And Diva Bomb comes in from Frosted. Will not find a kill. But maybe with this Primal Rage, they can actually clutch out this fight. And Pure getting demeched is going to signal the retreat for Red. Pure will get cleaned up here. No one's actually on point right now. It looks like they're going to send Frosted and Neon back to stay on point. I'm wondering if they'll actually even be able to get a contest here. If they put 3 on this payload, it's going to come down to the wire whether or not they can actually contest here. Looks like Red is rotating this high ground, but they're doing it a little bit weird. I'm not sure. And they can't. They get booped by Frosted. Frosted makes the hero play to ensure this map stays alive. And off the back of that, that's going to be a massive swing in momentum. Had Red been able to hold him there, this could have been a much easier map for them. But now, with 3 minutes walking into the end of Numbani, which is way more than what Red had when they were attacking, this looks very doable for the side of CMU. And I wonder when we're going to see this Grav come out here. It looks, with the Diva going away, it looks like the Grav will come out. Combo comes out, finds no kills. Beat invested, and Neon picks up Paradox off the back of that beat. And now, they're just going to push here aggressively. They want to get these kills, and they want to finish this map here and now. And Dash just trying to do his best to duel the enemy Brigitte there, but with a team to back you up, you're not likely to get that kill. And now, Swagged has to Trance to try to get this point in contestation, but now it's a massive ult that they're not going to have to actually win this fight. And with the Diva Bomb coming out, getting no value, they might have a way back into it. Javier is traded for Mac, but you'll take that trade if you're Red. Red has more staying power on this point now, and Will looks like they're gonna push CMU back. And Neon here trying to do the Brigitte, very unsuccessfully, will get taken out. And now, will Schwinn get out with his life? I think he might just. Skating away all the way back to the safety of the spawn. Gonna get his Brigitte and his D.Va back into the fray. Now, Mac up here playing a little bit aggressively. Has to wait for his team to join him before he can really advance. Default and Dazer still holding on to these grabs though. We have to see if Red can execute their combo. Just pushing up, taking a little bit of poke from each side. Grab comes out. Will we see value from this? And no kills off the back of either of these grabs. But the Shatter comes out, gets default. And Neon will pay with his life for that. And this will just be cleanup here for the side of Red. But looks like Lucio Schwinn, trying to get a little bit of a sneaky back cap on, will be quickly found out. And actually, because of that attempt, will get staggered a little bit more than CMU would have liked. Now, they just have to wait for their Lucio again, so they can really take this fight. But without a significant team-winning ultimate here, they're going to have a really hard time closing out this map. Mac going up, just trying to take a little bit of damage. Let's see if this D.Va Bomb can get any kills. Hits a good shatter. Unable to actually secure a kill with that, though. And now, barrier out just to keep the team fight going. But I think this has to favor Red here. But Neon gets to pick on Paradox to really make this a competitive fight. They could win this here. Swagged has to commit the Transcendence, but will quickly run out. If CMU can close out these kills here, this could be a map completion for them. Ooh, Mac gets booped. Almost dies to that self-destruct, but good shield control to actually keep himself alive there. But Mac will actually get eventually taken down. Paradox very low. Hits a shatter on the D.Va and manages to close this map out for his team. So another map going in the side of Red Team. Very interesting play coming out from both of these teams. Really putting up a very solid fight on both ends. But I really think, and I've said this earlier in the broadcast, I really think what made the major difference in this match was Paradox simply outplaying Mac on the Reinhardt role. And Reinhardt is really such an integral hero to this 3-3 comp that if your Ryan is getting picked first and not getting value out of his Earth Shatter, you're going to be behind in so many of these team fights. And so really being shown here tonight by Paradox the value a good Ryan player has on your team. And the series, the scrim will go in favor of Red Team. And so that will be all she wrote for tonight.